Hi, this is David, and I am coming to you from the Tango Tribe studio in Austin, Texas. Today I would like to share with you a secret that we use to help students produce powerful, controlled, smooth pivots forward and backwards. Let's start off with some warm-up exercises that will both prepare the body for work and inform the body about how to move in a way that produces those pivots. We'll start off with heel raises. With our heels together, our feet turned out or not to whatever angle is comfortable, producing a nice base underneath us. We'll move our heels up and down in a smooth, slow, controlled manner that gives us the best muscular exertion. The ankles are so important because they are the connection between all the rest of our body and the base that is supporting our body, that is our connection with the ground. So this is something that we ought to be working all the time. We can make it harder by doing 1 foot at a time, and we can make that more controlled by anchoring one heel against the other. So the heavy leg is doing the work of raising the heel, while the light leg, anchored against it, is just floating free. Then we can switch legs. Again, the light leg heel will anchor against the heavy leg. Now, of course, we don't want to be popping up as we're dancing in Argentine tango. We like to keep a nice level line. So what we will actually be doing is flexing the knees slightly forward to release the heels just enough that the foot can skim over the floor. Now, a different exercise. With the feet spread slightly so that the legs are still under the edges of the hips, let's do the twist. I'm going to keep my hips and torso facing forward while the legs twist independently underneath. And after we've done that work, then I will keep the legs and the feet still. I'll keep the torso pointing straight forward and rotate only the hips. If it feels confusing, how does the body do this? Think of working in opposition. So my opposite shoulder, I'm in effect pushing that forward as the hip goes forward. And then we'll keep everything from the hips down to the feet quiet while we rotate only the torso. I'll keep my chin over the breastbone. I'll keep my arms relaxed. Good. So we've warmed up all of these connections. Let's also do some whole leg and hip work. We can begin that most simply by doing side-to-side steps. And with those, I'm going to emphasize rotating through the edges of the feet to give a strong grounding into the floor. I always like to emphasize energy in my classes because it connects the dancer to the music and to one's partner, no matter what their energy level is. If we have good, strong energy available, then we can produce more powerful and clear movements and connect with our partner, whatever their energy level is. Then let's also do some steps forward and backward, again emphasizing rolling through the entire foot, pushing off the front of the foot to go forward, pushing off the heel, going backwards, switching feet. This movement is important because I want to get, as I step backwards, I want to reach, providing room for my partner to step forward, and I want to get my hip fully over my axis, over the ball of the foot of the standing leg, to enable it to pivot easily. Okay, so what about the secret I talked about? Well, in most tango instruction, you'll see emphasis placed on dissociation, where the body parts twist in opposite directions. If I'm going a forward pivot, I turn the shoulder away from that, and that's going to pull the muscles, pull the hip around. However, I think there are even more important muscles down below, the hip rotator muscles that we exercised at the beginning of our warm-up. For external rotation, which rotates the foot away from our center line, or if we're standing on the ball of the foot, it rotates the heel to the front. There are 6 muscles that attach to the top of the thigh bone and then connect to the hip, and they run at a fairly horizontal direction. For internal rotation, which sends the foot towards the center line, or if we're on the ball of the foot, as we would be for pivots, it sends the heel back away from us. There are also 6 muscles, but some of those are shared, and also they don't run at a horizontal angle, they run more vertically and attach both to the hips and to the spine. That makes them somewhat less effective. For external rotation, we can go as much as 140 degrees, internal rotation as much as 110 degrees. It's not as powerful going internal rotation, which is what we do for back pivots. That's one of the reasons why back pivots are a little more difficult. And here's a tip, a little trick. If we tilt the pelvis forward, it puts those internal rotator muscles at a more advantageous angle. It also serves to send our weight more forward over the ball of the foot, freeing up the heel. So what we want to do is, when we're stepping for a back pivot, is leading with that hip and keeping that hip back as we pivot. But now, there's more to it. We have external rotators, we have internal rotators. What if we could get the effect of both of those sets of muscles working together? We can. What I want to do is, if I'm going to the front, my heel is going to the front underneath my body. I am going to press it against the other heel, firmly press the heels together, which in effect recruits the internal rotators of the other hip. So you get the effect of both muscles working synergistically together, the external rotators and the internal rotators. To illustrate, so from a standing still, it can produce almost a 360-degree turn. Going in the other direction, backwards, the heel is moving behind me, away from me. In this case, I'm going to take the heel of the light leg and push it firmly against the heel of the heavy leg. And of course, it's the very same thing on the other side. Going backwards, I press the light leg heel against the heavy leg. Going forward, the heavy leg is coming around, it presses against the light leg. So it takes longer and is more confusing to explain all of this than it is to actually do it. We don't need to be thinking about, okay, which side of the heel is going where? If I'm going back, is it the right one or the left one? Which one is coming? All we need to think about is, if I'm turning in this direction, I can even do it on 2 feet to figure it out if I don't know. Then this heel is going forward, this heel is going towards the other one. So that heel is going to press into the other one. If I'm going backwards, this heel is going away, so it's the light leg heel that's coming towards the other heel. I'm going to press the light leg heel into the heavy leg. That's what we need to remember, is simply firmly pressing one heel into the other. And it works not only standing still, but as we're coming through our axis, collecting, we get the same effect by pressing those heels strongly together. That's our secret. I hope you give it a try, both for yourself in your own practice and with your partners, or if you're teaching students. See what it does for you. In our experience with beginning dancers and even never-ever dancers, the quick warm-up, explaining pressing the heels together as they pivot, it so quickly produces quality pivots. Give it a try and let me know how it works for you. Thank you for your attention.